a.m. and we're starting off in the 70s, a little humid out there. But this afternoon, you're going to have to watch out for some storms. We're going to be checking in with Mike very soon.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Good morning. It's 6 a.m. on Monday, May 13th.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you had a wonderful weekend. You said you had a good weekend except for the afternoon part of Mother's Day, right?
I had to be outside and it was so miserable out there. There was no relief. It was hard to believe.
Yeah, what we do for our kids. You were at a game. An
example. They won.
Yes. Oh, good. Well, good. Congrats. But I guess it's going to not be as hot today because of that rain we're expecting. So let's go ahead and check in with Mike about that.
Yeah, the humidity, which, we had a little bit of a break on Saturday. It was really pleasant, and yesterday morning was okay.
It was okay, yeah.
But by the afternoon,
yeah,
it was really humid. Now, it's very humid this morning, not quite as bad as what it was yesterday afternoon, but overall, this humidity is making the atmosphere extremely volatile, so that's why we are on the lookout for some strong storms later on this afternoon. First of all, this morning, with all the humidity out there, light wind, all the ingredients, we've got some fog. You go out 10, you're going to run into some fog from Seguin over toward Gonzales, New Braunfels, and then up into the hill country as well. The airport's improved ever so slightly, as has Port SA and Castroville, but we'll still be dealing with this over the course of the next couple of hours. And as far as radar, there's not a lot showing up as of right now, but notice how some of these showers over here to the west just trying to pop up. Now, by mid to late morning, we're really going to have to keep an eye on things out here to the west as some of these storms move on through here, and then also by later on this afternoon. Temperatures, we're averaging 5 degrees, 6 degrees above the respective normals all around the area right now. Of course, that ton of humidity out there. Also, we don't see this all the time. I mean, you think about the past few times when we've had that severe outlook, it's the 1 and the 2 on the scale of 1 to 5, this kind of mustard color, yellowish color. But now we've got a 3 here, the enhanced risk for severe storms from San Antonio, Pleasanton going up 35, going out 10, which means, translation, pretty good chance that storms develop, excuse me, they are going to become severe quite easily, and it's going to be very large hail that we're going to be on the lookout for, as well as high winds. So this morning, some mist, drizzle, a little bit of fog to deal with, and then by late morning, we're going to start to see some of these storms develop out to the west and move through the area. There's actually a front that's moving on through here, and that's why you've got those clashing air masses. That's why we're going to see some of these strong, potentially severe storms. We'll hit 90 for a high temperature later on today, and these storms will continue through dinner time. Then we're going to start to clear out somewhat by later on this evening, and tomorrow, albeit very hot, it's going to be more pleasant. We do get some dry air coming in here. How long does that last? What about the weekend? Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Mr. Marquez, still got problems out there?
Yeah, Mike, so you can definitely feel that mugginess out there, but we do have some good news. Loop 410, 151, they have actually cleared out that crash just in time for the 6 o'clock hour. So that's good news for all of our folks on the west side of town making their way out right now. Let's take a look at some other TransGuide traffic cameras here. 35 Rush Lane, traffic moving pretty well both directions there. See if we get one more before we go to our maps, and that will not be the case. Okay. Never mind on that. All right. The rest of the city, everything else is looking pretty good for the most part. Again, no really major overnight construction. So good news out there in the northwest side of town, northeast side of town. We still have this stalled vehicle being reported, Loop 410 southbound at I-10. That's going to be on the east side of town. And we were seeing a little bit of delays earlier for our drivers coming in on the southbound lanes of Loop 410. But it looks like things have actually cleared out in that area. All right, here we go. We're getting another look here at some of our cameras there. 90 General McMullen. You just kind of see that mist out there, a little bit of damp road, so just give yourself a little bit more time if you're about to step outside right now, and we will continue to monitor the very latest on the road. Stephanie and Patty, back to you guys.
Thank you, RJ. Well, trending right now on KSAT.com, a massive cockfighting raid in southern Bexar County. And this morning, animal advocates are asking people to speak up.
As Daniela Ibarra reports, a tipster in this most recent case led officials to an arrest.
Roosters pitted against each other to fight for their lives. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office executed a search warrant Saturday to save them.
It's an epidemic. We've got to do something about it. And the way it happens is one by one.
Wayne Pacelli is the president of Animal Wellness Action, which works to stop animal cruelty. He says what happens at cockfights is horrifying.
And the recent bust in Bexar County shows exactly the true face of this ugly, barbaric, crime-ridden enterprise.
At this South Bexar County property, deputies say they found drugs, guns, and around 200 roosters. Some have injuries. BCSO Deputy Chief Nancy Sanford says 47 spectators were cited.
And it was early, so there probably would have been more coming to the event, but we felt like we didn't want any of the roosters to get harmed, so we felt like we should go in there, raid it sooner than later.
Deputies also arrested the suspected organizer, Paul Morales, on a felony charge. Sanford says BCSO has raided a few cockfights since 2017.
I believe it's going on, and we would like to find more of them.
Sanford says an anonymous tip led them to bust this one.
We can't just leave it to the police. We need the police and prosecutors, but we're the eyes and ears that can sniff out illegal activities and report them.
Records show Morales has since bonded out of jail, and he's expected in court for hearing next month. Danielle Ibarra, KSAT 12 News.
Another story we are continuing to follow closely this morning. It's now been nearly a week since two gunmen fired dozens of shots into a northeast Bexar County townhome, killing a 4-year-old girl and leaving her parents and 2 siblings critically injured. Now, a car matching the description of their getaway car has been found. However, these 2 suspects you see on your screen right now are still out there. You can contact the Bexar County Sheriff's Office if you have any information about who these suspects could be or where they might be. The information is on your screen, so you can call at that number 210-335-6000, or you can email bcsotips@bexar.org.
San Antonio City Council members will soon begin their annual competition to see which district collects the most blood donations. As of Saturday, the District Challenge drives received more than 1,000 donations. That helps about 3,000 people. Right now on our website, we have a schedule of donation drives for each district. Just look for this story on our homepage.
And starting today, if you donate to the South Texas Blood and Tissue Center, you could win a new car. The nonprofit has teamed up with Jordan Ford for the Jordan Ford Mustang giveaway. Donations made between today and July 13th will qualify. The winner will get a 2-year lease on a 2024 Ford Mustang EcoBoost. That is all from Jordan Ford.
Topping your morning headlines in Israel, officials there have vowed to expand their operation against Hamas fighters in the southern Gaza city of Rafah until a hostage deal is reached. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken says Israel lacks a credible plan to protect the more than 1 million Palestinians who have taken refuge in that city since the war began. The State Department is also saying it's possible Israel may have violated international law during the war.
Michael Cohen is set to testify this week in the hush-money trial of former President Donald Trump. He is a star witness as prosecutors try to prove Trump illegally falsified business records. They say Cohen paid adult film star actress Stormy Daniels to be silent about her affair with Trump, and then Trump reimbursed him. Former president's attorneys say the payments to Cohen were a retainer. They say it is not against the law to pay to stop rumors the defense argues were unfounded.
And you've heard Mike talking about this all morning, the Northern Lights. You're going to be able to see them tonight, and you could possibly see them again this week.
Yes, it's quite a light display over the weekend, and it stopped many Americans in their tracks, and it was seen farther south than it's been seen in generations.
ABC's Danny New tells us millions of Americans have had a chance to see a celestial show that many never thought they ever witnessed firsthand.
Millions of Americans across the country were awed by a green and sometimes purple glow in the sky this past weekend. From Seattle to Texas to the backyard of one ABC News viewer in Connecticut who says traveling to see the Northern Lights was always on her bucket list.
If for some reason it never happens, I will be very satisfied with what I witnessed Friday night.
But that's the thing. The Aurora Borealis that was all over social media on Friday stuck around for Saturday and even Sunday night. In fact, a scientist with NOAA in Colorado says this was our biggest geomagnetic storm in 21 years.
A rapid fire of all these CMEs, coronal mass ejections, aimed at Earth and arriving at Earth is what drove the geomagnetic field to such an agitated state.
Sunday overnight, the spectacle did not reach as far south as earlier in the weekend, but was still a possibility in cities like Seattle, Chicago, and New York, where I tried monitoring. But can someone turn these dang skyscrapers off? But I should be careful what I wish for. All of this geomagnetic activity may be pretty, but it can have effects on the power grid and electronics. Apparently, it's the currents that these solar flares can create for power lines.
They're not built to use this current, so it becomes a problem.
John Deere, as in the lawn mowing equipment company, even sent out a press release Saturday morning suggesting that the geomagnetic storm had been affecting many brands of GPS signals across the board. And of course, this activity does come about a month after that generational solar eclipse in April.
Honestly, I wasn't expecting it to compare at all, but I found myself having similar-ish reactions because it was more unexpected.
I will say, if you have major FOMO like I do, Catherine did actually admit that the aurora kind of looked cooler on her phone than it really did in real life. So, social media in a nutshell. In New York for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
And this weekend's geomagnetic storm is the strongest recorded since October 2003. Right now on our website, the aurora borealis was closer to home too, and lots of you sent pictures into KSAT Connect. You can check the images right now on KSAT.com.
Time now 6:12 and 72 degrees for now.
Still to come, an exclusive look inside the White House Situation Room, the most secure location in the White House. That's ahead in your GMA First Look.
Plus a warning before you head outside this morning. What experts want you to know about skin cancer and how you can protect yourself.
And taking a live look outside with live cam, a cloudy start to our Monday. And stay tuned with us because some storms are possibly on the way. Mike has your forecast coming up in just a few. Welcome back. May marks Skin Cancer Awareness Month, and doctors at the START Center for Cancer Care want to remind you to be extra careful out there in the sun.
Well, experts are seeing the number of cases rise here in San Antonio. So during the first quarter of 2024, skin cancer diagnoses are up 40% compared to the first quarter of 2023.
Our producer Haley Powers spoke with oncologists from the START Center and has a message that could potentially save your life.
Skin cancer is the most common cancer in the U.S. every year. 1 in 5 people will be diagnosed with it by the age of 70.
But skin cancer does not discriminate. It can happen to anybody.
The 3 main types of skin cancer are squamous cell carcinoma, basal cell carcinoma, and melanoma. The main culprit of the disease, the sun. The American Cancer Society says UV radiation from the sun can damage the DNA in skin cells, which can lead to cancer.
The sunburns have been correlated with getting skin cancer later on in life.
The best way to prevent sunburns is sunscreen. Doctors at the START Center for Cancer Care say sunscreen should be reapplied at least every 2 hours while outside for long periods of time. Make sure you're using an SPF of 50 or higher, especially between 10 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. Use rub-in sunscreen over spray because it usually has more coverage. And make sure you wear it daily, even if it's cloudy outside.
Even if you feel like it's not very sunny, even if it's not hot, it's still exceedingly important to wear the sunscreen.
Dr. Buchheit says 80% of harmful UV rays can penetrate through clouds, and doctors say laying outside just a tan is not good at all.
To be out in the sun, but protecting yourself is reasonable, but to sit out with the express purpose of having your skin darken is probably not safe in the sense that it clearly increases your risk for skin cancer down the line.
So how do you know if you have skin cancer? Both Dr. Buchheit and Dr. Miller say you need to look at changing or new spots on the body. If a mole or spot on your skin looks discolored, asymmetric, is growing, and not going away in a couple of weeks, you need to get to your doctor immediately.
So anything over 6 millimeters, which is like the size of a pencil eraser, that is something that's more concerning.
An early diagnosis in skin cancer typically means a small removal surgery to get rid of it. If it's caught late, immunotherapy, radiation, or chemotherapy may be recommended. Haley Powers, KSAT 12 News.
All right, very important to wear that sunscreen for sure. And if you're about to step outside right now, not really going to deal with any sun at the moment right now, just dealing with some more drivers, a little bit heavier traffic as we make our way outside right now. 410 Crossroads, traffic moving pretty good both directions there. 35 Frost Bank Center, same situation there as well. Hey, shout out to Victor Wembanyama. He got his Rookie of the Year award over the weekend, so good to see Wemby accept that out there over the weekend. Taking a look at the city, everything looking pretty good for the most part. They have a couple of smaller things to let you know about right now. We have a stalled vehicle being reported on 151 eastbound at Westover Hills Boulevard. So this is going to be for all of our drivers coming in from Wiseman Boulevard from the 1604 area. 151's been pretty busy this morning. This is now being reported on the eastbound lanes right there at Westover Hills. Let's take you to the north side of town right now. We have a stalled vehicle being reported 1604 westbound at 281, but not causing too many delays at the moment as from what we are seeing. Want to let you know also about some ongoing issues here, construction issues, nightly closures that are going to be taking place. This is going to be on the 1604, the eastbound lanes of Hardy Oak all the way up to Bulverde Road. And these nightly closures will be in place at 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. through May 21st. So basically a week from tomorrow, they're going to keep on continuing all this work that they are doing out there for the 1604 North Expansion project. We're also going to have the 281, the flyover ramps at 1604 eastbound. That's going to be closed there as well. So keep that in mind if you're traveling late tonight or early morning tomorrow, but we will continue to keep you updated on all that situation going on the north side. All right, 35, we just saw that camera there, Frost Bank Center. So we get one more because we are seeing a little bit of humidity out there and some muggy conditions out there, Mike.
Yes, indeed. Didn't Wemby also runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year?
He was, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. He's doing some big things already.
Not too shabby. Congratulations. All right. Speaking of the humidity, somewhere in there is the skyline. This is our camera down at Brook City Base looking up to the north, but I mean, you can't see anything out there hardly. And go up into the hill country, got a lot more fog. Nothing pea soup fog out there, but obviously it's around. And like RJ was talking about, a little bit of mist on the roads as well. Now, we will get a break in the humidity by tomorrow. We have actually a front moving through here later on this afternoon. So that's going to knock the humidity down for tomorrow, Wednesday, comes back up Thursday, Friday, and it should start to drop down a little bit more by the weekend. But as far as the front moving through today, what that's going to do is help to touch off some of the showers and potentially severe thunderstorms around here. We're not seeing much. As a matter of fact, some of the rain from earlier this morning has sort of fizzled out, but these little cells out here to the west, especially as we get in toward mid to late morning, these things are going to start to really blossom. And once a storm develops, the atmosphere is so volatile, it's not going to take much for these things just to continue to grow and kind of explode, if you will. And so that's why we do have that threat for severe weather. Now, this model does have some of these cells trying to develop by 7 o'clock this morning. I think this may be rushing things a bit. Obviously, we're going to be on the lookout for it, but this would be within the next 40 minutes. There's nothing out there right now. And then a few more of these cells by late morning. Now, noon and then into early afternoon, things may settle a bit, start to fire back up by mid to late afternoon with more of these potentially severe cells around here. This is going to move through around dinner time and then continuing off to the east, but clearing out by later on this evening. Now, the threat is there for severe weather. As a matter of fact, Storm Prediction Center does have us under the enhanced risk for severe storms, a 3 on a scale of 1 to 5, which we don't see around here all that often. And translation is this means anything that pops, very good chance that it will become severe. Very large hail is what we can expect in high winds. All of the area is under some sort of a risk for severe weather, but from San Antonio, Pleasanton up to the northeast, that's where the greatest threat is. So as far as what's going to be going on the next couple of days, like I said, we will get a break in the humidity tomorrow. We have that front moving on through here. It's classic situation where we've got this very volatile air mass in place, and then that front runs into it. That's what touches off some of these potentially severe storms around here. We'll clear out nicely tomorrow. It's going to be hot tomorrow, but that lower humidity, so a bit more tolerable. A few more clouds on Wednesday, then Thursday, Friday, another chance for some rain, another front, which again is going to try and trim some of that humidity as we go on into the weekend. But yeah, mid-May, it's definitely going to be hot. More after this. Stick around.
COPD isn't pretty. I'm out of breath and often out of the picture. But this is my story. And with Once Daily Trelegy, it can still be beautiful. Because with 3 medicines and 1 inhaler, Trelegy keeps my airways open for a full 24 hours and prevents future flare-ups. Trelegy also improves lung function, so I can breathe more freely all day and night.
Trelegy won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it. Do not take Trelegy more than prescribed. Trelegy may increase your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and osteoporosis. Call your doctor if worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain occur.
What a wonderful world.
Ask your doctor about Once Daily Trelegy for COPD, because breathing should be beautiful all day and night.
In this morning's GMA First Look, an ABC News exclusive, for the first time since its $50 million renovation, George Stephanopoulos is taking us inside the White House's Situation Room with National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan.
A lot of the history that is written day to day in American foreign policy is lived out in this room.
Situation Room officers, the most apolitical men and women in the White House, serving the presidency, no matter what their political party.
What do you think the American people should know about this group of professionals that are brought in from every part of the government?
This is a group of people who stand watch on behalf of the American people.
And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have much more of George Stephanopoulos' exclusive access to the Situation Room. With your GMA First Look, I'm Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
Hey there, good morning. Taking a live look outside with Live Cam. Things looking pretty gray out there this Monday.
A little bit so far. Hey, good morning. Welcome back at 6:30, and we hope you had a wonderful weekend.
Let's check in with our forecast because things are going to get pretty loud, maybe.
Yes, we do have a very good chance. The atmosphere is extremely volatile, and we've got a good chance to see some strong, potentially severe storms later on today. As a matter of fact, the risk is one of the highest we've seen around here in a while. Talk about gray, and yeah, that's the situation. This is our camera down at Brook City Base looking up there, and somewhere in there is the skyline, but boy, can't hardly see anything at all with, at least from this vantage point. 72 is the temperature. We're averaging 5 to 6 degrees above normal all around the area. The dew point, the measure of moisture in the atmosphere, this number did get up to the mid 70s yesterday afternoon. That's why it was just so outrageously humid in the afternoon. It's down from there, but I mean, this is still really humid. Plus, we don't have much of a breeze to deal with, which is why we do have some fog out there. New Braunfels, Bernie, Kerrville, and then in the metropolitan area, specifically, or I should say within Bexar County, San Antonio, visibility is not bad, but it does get a lot thicker when you head out 10 off to the east as well. Got a couple little showers that are popping up. Nothing really to write home about as of right now, but we're going to have to watch it out here to the west. Mid to late morning as more of these cells begin to pop up out there, and it's not going to take much because once something develops, they're just going to kind of blow up and become severe quite quickly, quite easily. Temperatures upper 60s, low 70s, like I said, on average 5-6 degrees above normal. We have an enhanced risk for severe storms from San Antonio, Pleasanton, up 35, going out I-10. Usually you don't see this. This is a 3 on a scale of 1 to 5, which means, again, something pops, it can easily become strong to severe. And in large hail, very large hail, and high winds are going to be the biggest threats that we're going to be concerned with later on this afternoon. As far as the allergens, mold is on the moderate side. We got mist and fog, very warm, very humid this morning. Then again, mid to late morning, and then again in the afternoon, kind of a second round. We'll see some of these potentially severe storms, and that large hail is what we have to watch out for. That's going to be going through dinner time and then continue to work its way, clear out from west to east. There's a front coming in here, going to clear us out. Actually, it's going to bring in slightly lower humidity tomorrow, which is going to be nice because it is going to be very hot, but at least we get that break in the humidity. How long will that last? Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, RJ, still got problems out there?
All right, Mike. Yeah, it's actually been a little bit of a reverse than what we usually see. Usually see more activity during our 6 o'clock hour. We saw that during our 5 o'clock hour, but we have cleared out that crash there. That was at 410, 151. The only thing that we're seeing at the moment right now, 35 in New Braunfels. This is going to be the southbound lanes, a little bit past Walters Avenue and also the Frostbank Center Drive. Drive. So keep that in mind if you are headed out in the side of town right now, the east side, excuse me, as we get a closer look. And again, this is going to be affecting all of our traffic coming in from Walters and also Frostbank Center Drive, but not causing too many of a major delay right now, as we just saw from those TransGuide traffic cameras. Still have a stalled vehicle being reported 151 eastbound Westover Hills Boulevard for all of our folks coming in from Wiseman Boulevard. 1604 maybe headed down to West Military Drive, but traffic is still kind of getting through that area there, the SeaWorld area. And north side of town, 1604 westbound 281. Saw a little bit of delay here for our drivers coming in from 281 to 1604, but we see a lot of green on the screen there, so that's good news. Again, biggest thing that we're seeing, southbound 35 New Braunfels Avenue, a little bit of a stalled vehicle there, but not too many issues on the roads. We will definitely take that to start your Monday morning commute. Stephanie, Patty, back to you guys.
Thank you, RJ. Well, to our top story this morning, one San Antonio group is taking social media by storm, and there's a powerful message behind their videos.
Avery Everett shows us how the men and women behind the anti-bully gang are spreading their message with the help of course, the internet.
Hi.
A hello and a handshake.
Hi. What's your name?
Are usually the first steps in friendship.
You got the smile of a winner. You know that?
But in this friend group, the sights and the sounds bring a whole lot more than just any simple greeting.
We're all your friends, so we got your back too.
This is the anti-bully gang.
We help them with confidence. We keep in touch with them. We make sure that they're okay.
A group based in San Antonio trying to stop bullying and spread positivity. And King Kyle Lee started it all.
Kids need to know that they are loved and people have their back.
He's taking action in the real world and putting it out on social media. Now millions of people are hearing his message, and he's trying to take this movement nationwide.
Somebody was over here getting bullied.
They've showed up for dozens of kids and created dozens of social media videos.
Man, we back at it, man. We want them to see who has their back and who cares about them and who pulls up for them. We heard that your favorite G-Wagon.
After a parent reaches out asking for help, these men and women show up in the school pickup line, all decked out in style, to deliver an important message.
When I talk to the kids, I ask them one question. Do y'all like to be bullied? No. Okay, well, why is anybody bullying? So me and my homies had to pull up, man.
What may look like just any TikTok trend is actually about building real connections and changing lives, like Adam Taggle.
He's like kind of like your brother that stands like in the front of the Blues to make them go away.
Adam says it was hard making friends in middle school. His mom says he was struggling to show up each morning. That's when she reached out to the anti-bully gang.
He had smiled for the first time in about 2 years. He was smiling, he was happy, he wanted to go to school.
A success story.
It's brought my son back.
And a forever friendship.
Hey, if a kid's getting bullied, do y'all love them? Yeah! Yeah, you got people back here that love you.
As the engines kick in and this caravan takes off, King Kyle Lee says his work has only begun to stop bullying in San Antonio.
No, it's gonna take a while, but it could happen.
So you may be wondering, when are they going to hit the road next, or where are they going? Well, they went to Houston this past week, and they say they're planning a nationwide road trip soon. Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
Well, foster kids in Texas need your help, and we know fostering and adopting is a huge commitment, and we want you to know everything about the process before you start.
KSAT Community is hosting a phone bank tomorrow just for that. According to the Department of Family and Protective Services, as of March of this year, there were more than 1,100 kids in foster care. Bexar County is inside Region 8, and foster care organization SJRC Texas helps the other counties in the region. SJRC and its placement wing Belong are currently looking for families willing to take sibling groups and teenagers.
Teenagers at our foster care facility, teenagers who have more intense behaviors. Many of them have been through years of trauma and as a result have intense behaviors. And it's hard to find placement for teenagers like that. And that's one of our great needs, right, is to find foster homes for our foster kids.
Well, tomorrow KSAT Community will be hosting a phone bank, so we will be answering questions about foster care, and you can even pledge financial support. So those donations can be financial or by an Amazon wish list. That phone bank will run from noon to 7 p.m.
Now to Israel, where more than 300,000 people have now left the southern Gaza city of Rafah.
This comes as Israel ramps up fighting there. Meanwhile, back here in the U.S., more college graduations were interrupted by protesters.
As ABC's Perry Russum is tracking this developing story.
This morning, Israeli officials have vowed to expand their operation against Hamas fighters in the southern Gaza city of Rafah until a hostage deal is reached. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken reiterated concerns Sunday that Israel lacks a credible plan to protect the more than 1 million Palestinians who have taken refuge in that city since the war began. Meanwhile, fighting has returned to northern Gaza. The State Department has released a report saying it's possible Israel may have violated international law during the war. Israel says it's doing everything it can to protect civilians. But some lawmakers now intensifying their debate over whether Israel deserves more U.S. aid.
Any objective observer knows Israel has broken international law. It has broken American law. And in my view, Israel should not be receiving another nickel in U.S. military aid.
There is no evidence that Israel is violating international law. All civilian casualties in Gaza are solely the responsibility of Hamas.
While there are no signs that any ceasefire hostage deal between Israel and Hamas is close, some talks have resumed. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
More people will soon qualify to apply for Social Security. It is all thanks to a new rule that expands the definition of a public assistance household. Starting September 30th, a public assistance household will include those receiving SNAP payments. It will also include households with at least one SSI recipient and at least one other household member who receives public income maintenance.
Switching gears to the basketball court, and Spurs fans have a lot to celebrate this morning, including us. The Silver and Black will be picking in this summer's NBA draft, so they will actually be picking twice, and the first 8 picks come next month. So picks 4 and 8 belong to San Antonio. You can watch the Spurs make their picks live right here on KSAT 12. Again, this is happening next month on Wednesday, June 26th.
All right, time right now, 6:41, 72 degrees out there.
Well, our Great Graduate Series continues this morning. After the break, we're going to introduce you to a Syrian-born immigrant whose determination and perseverance is finally leading her to walk the graduation stage. You're not going to want to miss her story. Welcome back at 6:44. Well, today we are applauding a local high school senior who's had a long and difficult journey to reach graduation day.
The Clark High School 18-year-old wanted an opportunity to thank the teachers who helped her get this far. And more medical problems and learning a new language didn't stop her.
You don't have to search far to see where Hajar Abdulman gets her determination.
My mom left her family. Left everyone to save us, me and my little sister. It's kind of difficult. It was hard for her, but she made me and my siblings stronger and believe in ourselves.
The Syrian-born immigrant was 5 when a war broke out. For 2 years, her family lived in a school made into a shelter.
It was very difficult because we didn't have food or drink, water to drink, clear water. I remember running with my little sister to go get water from the river and come back and drink it. But it was very scary.
With the nearest hospital destroyed in the war, Hajar and her sister needed to leave Syria to get life-saving medical treatment.
We kind of escaped from Syria to Turkey. And when we went to Turkey, they did a little test to check if we're actually sick. And the test came positive. We stayed in Turkey for about 3 years.
Still needing a bone marrow transplant, the 11-year-old was able to come to the United States as a refugee.
With my family, they believed in me and they told me, you'll learn English.
When we look at her journey, it's definitely one of perseverance. It's one of not giving up.
Paige Vetter is one of several teachers that have helped Hajar through school. She also knows her family and feels a close bond with them.
She is got a heart of gold. So again, the type of student that you just wish you could copy, paste, and have a whole classroom full of.
In 1 month, Hajar will walk the graduation stage. At one time, her goal was to become a doctor and help kids like her, but that's changing.
I'm not really sure, because I'm kind of tired of going to the hospital and stuff, to be honest. I always go to the hospital every 3 weeks.
It was our honor and it was our joy to teach Hajar.
One thing's for sure. The Clark High School grad is full of gratitude to everyone who's been a part of her journey.
It was such a pleasure to be able to talk to her, and we're wishing her well with whatever she decides to do.
Yeah, well, definitely congrats to Hajar. She's been through so much, and she's just 18 years old.
Yeah.
Wow. Congratulations. Well, the time now, 6:47. I was just looking over at the parking lot on I-35.
Basically, big backup out there on the far northeast side right now. 35 southbound at Church Parkway as our folks over at Transguide kind of adjust the cameras. But you see there, as I just step away from the camera, there's a pretty good backup here. A sea of brake lights in this area. 35 southbound at Church Parkway. So what is going on? Well, we have a stalled vehicle being reported a little bit further up the road here. 35 southbound at Evans Road. You can see that we have pretty good backup, not only Church Parkway, that's the camera that we saw there, but even going all the way far back to Cibolo Valley Drive. So if you live in the Selma area, Schertz area, need to make your way down to the Forum 1604 or the Cibolo area as well. Probably going to run into some major traffic mess at the moment right now, that 35 southbound Evans Road. Most of our activity right now being focused on the east side of town, Loop 410 eastbound, Starcrest. We have a stalled vehicle there. Traffic is still getting through there, but if you're making your way up to 410 35, keep that one in mind. And a little bit further south, still on the east side right now, 35 southbound at New Braunfels Avenue. We saw that stalled vehicle earlier, but traffic is getting through that area. All right, it's Monday. We have not checked on gas prices here in a little while, so I did notice I was on the road this weekend, up and down 35, and checked out some gas prices. Right now we're looking at $3.17 across the San Antonio area. That's about 13 cents less than just a week ago today. Across the states, a little bit less than $3.19, which is the average in Texas, and across the U.S., obviously much less than that, as we're looking at gas prices about $3.62 right now. And I can't remember, Patty, I think it was you who said one of the worst parts about being stuck in traffic is when you're low on fuel.
It is. That's scary. Or you have a flat tire.
It's a very stressful situation. Hopefully these folks get some relief here in a little bit.
What a way to start the Monday, right?
Definitely.
That's very true.
Or, of course, if you have to take a pit stop.
That too.
I'm just saying, we've all been there. So,
yes.
Gas prices, Saturday, I think it was, we were going to Broadway just, I don't know, half mile inside 410. I saw it for $3.02.
I've seen some from about $3.05 all the way up to about $3.29. So that's right there. That $3.17 is right in the middle. Makes sense. But I did see some at $3.05.
Got to shop around.
Better.
Yes.
Yeah, that's better.
But don't drive around too much, because then you're
run
out of gas.
Hey, outside this morning, it is definitely humid out there. Of course, humidity, last week was way up there. We got that little bit of a break on Friday, Saturday, and then it came back up yesterday afternoon, and it is back up this morning. Still can't see the skyline from our camera at Brook City base. Port SA, a little more fog right now. Boerney's just at 1 mile visibility. 2 New Braunfels. Go out 10 in both directions, east and northwest, and then also heading out 90. But down to the south, it's not bad. But of course, this is going to be sticking around for the next couple of hours. 5, 6, 7 degrees above normal on average all around the area, upper 60s and low to even mid 70s out there. And again, everybody's got just a ton of humidity. And as far as what's going to be going on throughout the rest of the day, humidity is going to stick around. And with all these dew points so very high and all this moisture, that's making the atmosphere very, very volatile. But notice how there's a lot drier air out there to the west. That is going to eventually work its way in here. So we are going to get a break in the humidity tomorrow, which is a good thing because we're going to have some really hot temperatures tomorrow. So we had a few more showers earlier this morning, a couple leftovers down here to the southeast, and a few are wanting to pop up out here to the west. We're really going to have to keep a close eye on these over the course of the next couple of hours because the atmosphere being, again, so volatile that it's not going to take much for these things to really start to blow up and potentially become severe very quickly. So here's a computer model. Now, this one is initializing with or in the next, 30 minutes, some of these stronger storms, which I think it's kind of jumping the gun here a little bit. But as we go into late morning, we'll see more of these storms developing around here. Then also by mid to late afternoon. So just around the time or just after when school starts or lets out, I should say, we start to see some of these stronger storms, and they're going to continue to work their way on through the area. And we've got the enhanced risk for severe weather. Means a good chance that these storms will become severe. San Antonio, Pleasanton up to the northeast. And the biggest threat is going to be very large hail as well as high winds. We will make it up to 90 today. We have a front moving through, which is actually what's going to be touching off some of these storms. We've got the warm, humid air, somewhat drier air, the clashing of the air masses. Drier air, or at least I should say lower humidity for tomorrow, because we are going to make it up to 94 and we'll have more sunshine out there. Then we get into Thursday, Friday, another chance for a few showers and thunderstorms with temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. Hot weekend, but not bad looking, and humidity should be okay this weekend. But we really got to be on the lookout, especially starting late morning and then this afternoon.
All right, well, watch out definitely today. Thank you, Mike.
All right, thanks, Mike. The time right now, 6:52, 72 degrees out there.
Let's look out there for live cam, and right now it is calm compared to what we may see this afternoon. Not too bad if you're leaving to work right now. We'll be right back.
So we're going to have to be on the lookout for some potentially strong storms. We have that enhanced risk, that orange area from San Antonio, Pleasanton up to the northeast, and that's going to be late this morning and then into this afternoon. Very large hail is going to be the biggest threat with that. So just keep tuned, keep your phone handy with the KSAT weather app as well.
Yeah, take an umbrella and do all that good stuff. Be prepared on a Monday.
Definitely the traffic period.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Be careful driving. Thanks for joining us today.
We'll see you at 9.